Hey there, how's it going? So last night I posted up a screenshot of a campaign I did on Teespring that netted me over $4,000, and I got a bunch of PMs and stuff asking me to clarify some of the so-called out of the box stuff I did to start to get the shirt rolling out there. So what's special about this campaign is that I don't actually have a page in the niche. I was selling a breast cancer shirt for Bulldog fans, but I don't have a Bulldog page. So in this video, I'm gonna show you some of the techniques I used to get like a few of the sales to start to come in and to get like the social proof that it needed, so that other people, when they saw the link, they would go and buy it. So in this video, I'm gonna go over the 4 techniques I used, which started off by finding some forums in my niche, and then I went onto Pinterest and tried to find some power users who could share my link, and then I got a few sales off of Craigslist ads, and then of course I just went on Facebook and tried to find a whole bunch of groups where I could post a link to that were related to my niche. So let's get started. So here's a shirt that I made to make all these sales. It's kind of a variation of another shirt I saw which had a similar design but for a different kind of dog. So I just made a variation and I chose the bulldog niche because you could kind of tell what the bulldog is just from the outline of the dog and the face. The description is kind of the same stuff that a lot of people have been using and have had some success with, so I just copied and pasted it. And of course I added some like hoodies and some regular shirts and some v-necks and all that stuff. Since I don't have a bulldog page myself, the first thing I did was try to find some forums where I could try to promote this. So I hopped over onto Google and I just searched for bulldog forums, and you can see all the results I got here. So when you're looking for a forum, the thing that you kind of want to look out for is a forum that is very active and where people post a lot, or post like every day. Because if you find a message board where the last post was like in 2010 or 2011, then it's not going to help you out to post on there because nobody is going to see it. So I'm gonna just open up a bunch of these links into new tabs, and then I'll go through them to see which ones are worth my time. So as you can see in the first site I went to, you can tell that this is a really popular forum. In the main message board they have over 98,000 posts, and the most recent post was earlier today at 1:21 p.m. So you could just see that all the people who post on here are really active. Every thread gets a lot of views and all that. So this would be a good board I could use to post my shirt and test it out here. So here's another one that I found. You can see all the posts that they have on here. They have over 11,000 threads and 150,000 posts almost. So this is another active bulldog forum. If I go here into the photos area, you can see all the posts are getting like 100, 200 views each. So I mean, if I make a post of my shirt and I could get 100 or 200 essentially free views, that could translate into sales. So here's an example of some forums that you might come across as well, which aren't as active as the other ones. As you can see on this one, the last post happened in like 2008, 2010, 2012 in January. So this board would be a waste of time to do anything with, because nobody would end up seeing it. Now let's go back to the first forum I found. So basically, after I find a good active message board, I would just complete the registration process and sign up, and then I would just start to make my post. Usually I would try to interact with some other posts before I put up my post, so that my profile doesn't only show that I have only one post and it's a promotional post. It could look like it's spam or whatnot, so I just try to make a few random posts on different people's pictures or whatever. So this is my profile, and these are the posts I have made so far. I just made a few comments on some other people's threads here, but let's check out the actual post I did for my shirt. The post is super simple. It just says, I designed a bulldog shirt for breast cancer month. What do you guys think of the design? And I put up a picture of the shirt and the hoodie, and down here I had the the link to go buy it, but I think it was after a day and a half, a moderator removed the link because I guess if you're new, you can't put up any links like to prevent spam and all that. So even though the link got taken down for the day and a half that it was up there, I got a few sales out of it. For example, let's check out some of the replies I got. See, this person says, I love it. This person, they love it too. Great job. Nice job. It's such a great cause. I couldn't resist ordering too. So right off the bat, I got 2 sales about like 30 minutes after I posted this. And here's another one who placed an order. So 3 orders. Awesome. Sweet. Awesome. So like as you can see, I just got a great response on this forum from it, and I think it was after like 30 minutes I counted it. I think I had like 9 sales off of this one post. So even though the link got taken down like the day after, I got those 9 sales to help me out and to give me the social proof, which allowed me to promote it in other sites, and that people would see the sales and just think that wow, other people are buying this shirt, so I should buy it too. So now let's take a look at what I did on Pinterest. Um, Here I basically just try to find some users who had a lot of followers on their boards. I would just try to contact them and hopefully have them post my stuff on their boards. So I just searched for bulldog. I hit on the boards button and I just started to browse around. So basically, I would just try to find a board that has a whole lot of pins, because the more pins it has, it means that the more active it is, and the more likely it is to have a lot of followers. I'm gonna just start to click on a few of them here. And this one has over 1,000. This one has over 1,000, over 1,000, couple hundred, over 400. So basically, I just open up as many as I want, or as many as I have time for. So here's an example of one of the boards that I clicked on. It has over 500 followers, so it'll be a good idea to try to contact this person. I just click on the name up here on the top left, check out the profile. On this girl's profile, she has a link to a blog and a link to her Facebook. So I'm gonna just click on the Facebook link and send her a quick message on there. So here is the message I wrote. It's super simple. I copied it so I could copy and paste it to all the other people I'm going to send it to. But the problem with Facebook, of course, is if you send it to somebody that you don't know, it's going to end up in their other folder, which means that a lot of these people that you contact aren't going to see it. But the reason that I do it is just because it doesn't cost me anything. So like the more people that I message, the better chance I have of somebody seeing it and just posting it onto their Pinterest board and getting me some free exposure. What works way better is when a person has a blog or a website where you could contact them at. Like this girl, she also has a blog on her profile. So if you go onto her blog, you can see she has her email address on there where you could send her a message. This will work a lot better than sending a Facebook message, because it's gonna go directly to her. So I just logged into my email real quick, and I'm gonna send her a message. The same, I just copy and pasted the same thing that I had on before, and that's it. So basically, I would just send out as many of these as I can since it's free. I mean, it doesn't take me that much time. It just took me a long time now because I'm explaining it, but if you just copy and paste the same thing over and over and just find a bunch of profiles and emails, you could probably send out like 100 of these like in 5 minutes or less even. So here's another example of a board I found on Pinterest. This person has over 11,000 followers on the board, so that means that this person is like a major player in the bulldog niche online, or like at least on Pinterest. So anything that they post is going to be seen by a lot of people. So I go to check out her profile, and she doesn't have a website or any Twitter or Facebook accounts connected. So the way that I try to contact this person is I just go back to their board, and I try to find a photo that has a lot of comments or repins or whatever, and I just try to leave a comment on there trying to get their attention to see my shirt or or just to contact me. The problem with this method is that you could only leave maybe like 3 or 4 or maybe 5 comments before Pinterest like stops you for I think for like half an hour or like an hour or something to prevent spam. So if you're gonna do this, you kind of want to just do it with people who you can't contact, or they just have a big follower list, or they just have a picture with like a lot of comments and all that. So after I did this, I just tried to search and see if anybody pinned my shirt, and I searched for it. I looked for pins, and I found a few people who actually did it. So either they got my message, or they saw my comment, or whatever. But some people they pinned the hoodie, or they pinned the shirt, or the V-neck for ladies, and whatever. So I mean, it kind of worked out in the end. Kind of hard to tell how many sales I got out of this, but any exposure is good exposure. Now let's go over the Craigslist ads, which is another avenue I use to get some free clicks. The ad just looks like the blog post. I just have a picture of the shirt and the hoodie and a link to the sales page. And this ad was put up in the community pets section of Craigslist, which is where people usually try to sell or find pet stuff, as you can see here. To make an ad, you just click on post on the top right corner of the page. Then you click on community and you click on pets, and then you just click on the city or the subset of the city, and then you just write out your post. Click continue. I choose a image and I post it. The thing I do after I post it is I just go back to Craigslist and I click on Craigslist on the top left corner, which shows me all the cities available. And then I just post this ad to all the big cities, like in Chicago, in Vegas, in Los Angeles, in San Francisco, um, in New York City, of course, um, in Dallas, Houston, in Miami or South Florida, where I'm from, in Boston. So basically, I just try to post this to as many big cities as I can. Now, the problem with copying and pasting the same message over and over is that your post will eventually get flagged for spam and they'll be removed. But it doesn't really matter because it stays up for like a day or two. And in that amount of time, I was able to get some extra sales out of it and all for free, you know? So here's an email I got from somebody who replied to one of my ads in New York, and he said he just ordered one. So I'm sure there was a whole bunch of other people who clicked on the link and bought, but just didn't send me a message. So now let's go over groups on Facebook, which I'm sure you guys are very familiar with already. But here's how I use them. So first of all, I just searched for Bulldog, and I just clicked on groups on top, and you can see all the groups that pop up. I mean, there's a ton of them, and there's a bunch of groups with like thousands of members. For example, this one has 10,000, this one has 1,800, this one has 3,300, 4,000, 3,000, 1,800, 6,000. So it goes on and on. So what I do is I just try to join as many of these groups as I can, and then I just wait a day or two until they accept me into the group. And to see all the groups that I'm in, I just go into my homepage, click on groups, and here are all the groups that I'm actually in right now, which is a whole lot, and they're all in different niches. But after I join the group, I just go to each group and start to make my post. And obviously, it's just going to be a free ad. Here's an example of me doing this process with a Pug t-shirt. I just open up a bunch of groups and different tabs, and I copy and paste the same message over and over with the same photo. And you can see, I mean, I could do like 50 or 100 of these posts in a few minutes. And they're all going to be targeted to people who would like the shirt. And just to fast forward a bit, here's some replies I got just like a few minutes after I made these posts. For example, on this one she says, "Those are really cool." So I like your comment and I say thanks. Here's another one who said it was cute. And 3 people already liked it. I posted the photo only 6 minutes ago. So, I mean, you can see how easy this could transfer into free clicks and ultimately into sales. Now let's talk about contacting page owners. This was a really critical step that led to the huge success of my Bulldog campaign. Basically, the whole theory behind this is to find big pages in your niche to promote your shirt. Now, if you're starting from scratch like I did in the Bulldog niche and you don't have a page, this method gives you a big advantage because if you find a page that is willing to post your shirt, if the page is big enough and it has a lot of engagement, you'll get your shirt in front of thousands of people, which could take your campaign to a whole other level. So the first thing you have to do is search for big fan pages in your niche. But after you find them, you got to skim through them and make sure that they're not owned by an internet marketer who's already trying to sell Teespring stuff. Because if you find a page where somebody's already trying to sell Teespring stuff, they're probably not going to share your shirt because it's going to compete with their own stuff. But if you find a big page that is just owned by somebody who is really involved in your niche, you're going to have a much easier time convincing them to post your shirt. After you find these pages, you just send them a message either through Facebook or through their website if they have it listed on their bio, and you ask them if they could post your shirt or if they could work out some kind of deal with you to post it. And that's basically it. I mean, it's a small secret, but it's a thing that a lot of people still don't do. With my Bulldog shirt, I found a really big Bulldog fan page to post my shirt for $40. It might seem like a lot, but that single post got me over 250 sales, which in the end, if you do the math, it means I only paid 16 cents per each shirt I sold. Okay, so let me show you the process I went through step by step of how I found the pages to promote my shirt. The first thing I did was I searched for Bulldog and I hit the more results at the bottom. Then I clicked on pages so it would only show me pages. And then after that, I just started to open up every big Bulldog page I see in a new tab. After I open up a bunch of them, I start to scan through each of them one by one to make sure that they're not pages owned by marketers or people who are trying to sell shirts on Teespring. So this first one, you could tell it's a marketer because he has a link to an affiliate product, but it doesn't seem like he's on Teespring yet. You see, I'm browsing through all the old posts and I don't see any shirt that they're trying to sell. So this will be a good page to contact. At the second page, you can see it's just an interest page, so we can't do anything with that. At the next page, you can see it hasn't been updated since 2010, and so we could just skip this page. Now this page is big, but as you could tell, it's a page for the Georgia Bulldogs, which is a college football team. So this really isn't the niche I'm trying to promote my shirt to. And the last one I have open here, you can see right off the bat that this page owner is promoting a Teespring shirt. If I sent a message to this page to post my shirt, they most likely won't do it because it's going to compete with their own shirts. So I'm going to keep on looking for some more pages and open them up. And now here's a good one. It seems to have a lot of interaction and they brand their photos. And if you go back to the top, you can see that they also have a website in their description. And if you click on it, you'll probably notice it from one of the earlier videos. It's a forum. So this page I would definitely reach out to. Now this other page, it's also a very active page. And I don't see them trying to promote any Teespring shirts. So I would definitely contact this page as well. And this last page right here is another interest page, so we can't do anything with that. So let's just say we have these 3 pages that we want to contact and see if they would post our shirt. I would simply just go to the top of the page, click a message, write a little message, it could be whatever, and with a link to the shirt. asking them to post it. And then I would just copy that same thing and send it to all the other pages I found. Now, a lot of times pages like these get a lot of messages, so they might not see your message. So it's always important to go into their information box and see if they have an email or a website where you could go and send them a message as well. For example, this one has their email right there and their website. So I would send them the same message by email and check out the website too. On this other one, they have a Twitter profile. So I would go check it out and see that they're active every day. So I would just tweet them a message about their Facebook page and see if they would post it for me. And now this last page, let's check out their information box. And you see they also have an email and a website. So I would definitely try to email them as well outside of Facebook. So now I'm going to show you the exact messages I sent out to these pages. The message is pretty straightforward. I just said that I liked their page and explained what the shirt was about and asked them if they could post it on their page. I sent this same message to 12 pages. Out of 12 pages, I think I got like 5 or 6 replies back. This first person actually didn't reply until after the campaign was over, so I didn't get help from them. This other page, they didn't reply. But I want to show you this other page that I got a reply from. On this page, they told me that they will make a post about the shirt, but I would have to pay them for it. I was intrigued about the offer, so I checked out their page again to see how much interaction they actually get. Checking out their page, you can see that they have over 150,000 likes, which is a pretty big audience. And if you scroll through their post, you can see that every post gets a lot of engagement. For example, over 3,700 here, 2,300 here, over 6,000 there, another 6,000. So this page definitely has a ton of engagement, and if they posted my shirt, I would get a lot of people to see the shirt and possibly buy it. So what they offered me was for $30, they would leave my post on the page for a whole week. But if I paid them $40, they would actually pin the post to the top of the page for a whole day. So what I did, since I was already getting a lot of sales from the Facebook groups and from all the other methods I was using, I knew that this shirt would sell well if it got put in front of a larger audience like this guy's page. So after paying them the $40 and putting up my post, my sales jumped incredibly. Like I think I got over 250 sales from this one post on their page. So after that post, I actually bought another post a few days after, which didn't work as good, but it got me some more sales for real cheap, and I didn't even have to own the page. The lesson here is that even if a page owner is asking for money to post your shirt, if you know that your shirt is going to sell good on that page because you're already selling a bunch of them in Facebook groups and from all the other methods that I taught you earlier in the course, then paying a small fee to get your shirt in front of a bigger audience will most likely be a good move. Just make sure that the fee isn't too big and that you are already making some money from the other methods I taught. You could use the same method for big groups that you find. If for some reason you post into a big group and they remove your post for being spam or whatever, you could try to reach out to the admins of the group and try to make a deal to leave your post in the group or maybe even pin your post to the top of the group. For example, let's go look for Bulldog groups. And right off the bat, you see this group with over 14,000 members, which is pretty big. And as you can see, they have a pinned post here on the top. So what I would do is I will go into the members area. Then I would click on admins to see who runs the page. Then after that, I would just send a message to a few of the admins to see who really runs the group and see if I could work out some kind of deal to promote my shirt to everybody in the group. And this will definitely drive a lot of sales because people in groups are a lot more active than they are in general fan pages. In this section, I'm going to show you how to find inspiration for your t-shirt designs. Whether you're designing the shirts by yourself or you outsource it to another designer, I'm going to show you how to research what designs are currently working and selling in your niche by exploring around on a few popular websites that you might already know. Design is the most important factor in having a successful Teespring campaign. You could have the best copy, the best targeting, the best ad, but if your design is not good, then people are just not going to buy it. An important thing to note as well is that even if you love a design, it doesn't mean that everybody else is going to love it. And there's also some designs that you probably think are horrible, but it'll be perfect for a Teespring audience. So when you're doing your research, you always have to keep an open mind and take notice of what is actually popular in your niche instead of trying to play the guessing game and just put up what you think will work. I'm going to show you how to dive deep into Amazon.com and search for designs in categories that you would not have thought of looking in. I'm going to do the same with eBay, and then I'm going to show you how to find some designs on Pinterest. And then there's sites like Etsy and Spreadshirt, which are smaller online stores, as well as marketplaces like Envato and Rival Art, where you can save time and buy pre-made designs. And as a bonus, I'm going to show you how to figure out what specific font is being used by any popular shirt that you come across online. So let's get to it. Okay, so let's start off with Amazon.com. This is one of the best places to find inspiration because they pretty much sell everything. Using bulldogs as an example, I'm going to show you how you can find a bunch of design inspirations on here. I'm going to type in English bulldog and search. Now the first place that you should check is clothing and accessories. And then after that, hit on novelty and special use. That way you get shirts that are like custom made and all that. And from here, you can basically start to browse around and try to find some cool designs. And right off the bat, this one stands out to me. It's a very simple design and it's something that you can make a variation of and put up on Teespring easily. So let's keep on looking. Here's another cool design. This one will be kind of harder to put on Teespring because of all the shading. But if you could find a designer who could make a variation of that, that'd be a cool design to sell. So now I'm gonna go back up to the top and change the sorting to new and best selling and see the results I get. Check out this shirt right here. This is a super simple shirt, but I guess a lot of people have bought it. All it says is Got Bulldog, kind of like the Got Milk campaigns from the 90s. Now this is a super simple design that you could easily make on Teespring, and I'm sure if you find the right audience or the right groups on Facebook, you can sell this easily. Let's check out the customer reviews. As you can see, a few people already bought it and they loved it. So this is something you could try out on Teespring or make a variation of. Let's see if we can find some more. And then of course you could also sort by average customer reviews, which is a good way to find stuff because the more people comment on a shirt, then the more popular it is. Here's an example of a shirt that you can't make on Teespring because of all the shades of colors and stuff. Although it looks cool, Teespring can't make this because of all the different shades of pink in the image. You got to make sure that all the colors are separated in any design that you upload to Teespring. And that's about it. I mean, you just keep on browsing through the apparel section until you find a design that is already selling and working. But now let's search through another part of Amazon. Let's go to automotive. Hit enter again. And now you see a bunch of designs of stickers or decals for cars, which is a great way to find a design because a design that'll work on a decal on a car will also work great on a t-shirt. For example, take this design that says Bulldog Mom. You could easily put a design like this on a shirt. Or you could also put a design like this, which says I love my Bulldog on a shirt. Let's keep on looking. Here's another great example, which is just a simple slogan. You could easily recreate something like this. Another hidden gem in Amazon is if you search for mugs. So I'm going to just switch back to all departments and add the word mug to my shirt. If you start to browse around, you'll eventually come across some designs that you can use on a shirt. Here's a variation of the Got Bulldog t-shirt design that we saw earlier. So that's definitely something that you could use. Now let's go back and keep on looking. And here's another design that you could probably make a variation of on shirts. So as you can see, there's a lot of different sections on Amazon that you could use to find inspiration for your shirts. So next up, let's look at eBay. On eBay, you always find some people who sell their own custom shirts. So you'll often find some clever ideas for designs on here. Let's continue on the bulldog theme and input that. Then I'm gonna click on clothing and accessories, and I'm gonna hit buy it now. And from here, you could just start a search for designs. Now the first shirt up on top is a cool design, but it's something that you can't print on Teespring because of all the colors and shading. So let's keep on looking down. This design is cool here. It's a simple black and white design. If you made it smaller and just put it in the center of the shirt, you could probably use a design like that. Here's another one. This is a simple design, but it could work well on Teespring if you get the right audience with this shirt. But the awesome thing about eBay is that when you browse with the buy it now option, they actually tell you how many times that item has been sold. So as you can see here on the top right, this shirt has been sold twice. So only 2 people have bought this design. So that might be a good indication of this not being a good design that people actually buy. Or maybe it is a good design, but just not enough people have searched for it here on eBay. So it could probably still work well on Teespring. But don't only look at the sales. You also have to take notice of how many people are watching the item. As you can see for this one, there are 7 people who saved this item to their watch list. So maybe they're getting ready to buy it, or they like the design but they didn't like the price or whatever. But here's another ninja trick that a lot of people don't know about. If you go back to the search page, you probably notice now that some of the items have the number of watchers on here. And I think that only shows up if an item has 10 or more people who saved it to their watch list. So what I like to do, I just hit Control F on my browser to search for that term. So now it's gonna skip through all the designs and just show me the designs that a lot of people are paying attention to, which saves me a lot of time. And also just it shows me the best designs that I could eventually make a variation of for my own Teespring campaigns. Here's a design that a lot of people are watching, so let's check it out. And as you can see, they already sold 35 of these designs and they have 44 people who are watching it. So this is a design that a lot of people like. So this one will be a good one to make a variation of and put it up on Teespring to test it out. After you're done looking at all the shirts, you could also search for stickers on eBay the same way that you did on Amazon. You find some different kinds of designs which might work on a shirt. For example, this one has a lot of people who bought it and saved it. So 45 people bought it, and but I'm not sure if this design will work on a shirt. So you could keep on looking, and you'll find some cool stuff here, like some different kinds of designs that aren't on Amazon. So there you go. That's eBay for you. Another great source to find inspiration for your designs is to go on Pinterest and just search for your niche plus keyword shirt. So continuing on the bulldog thing, I'm gonna search for English bulldog shirt. And right off the bat, you see a bunch of shirts that have some cool designs, such as this one of a bulldog wearing a fedora. That's cool. Here's another one that's pretty cool. I like this one of the bulldog smoking a pipe. And this one is cool too. It's very unique. So I mean, you can find a lot of different stuff here because like on Pinterest, a lot of people link to stores. So if they see a cool shirt on some online store, they pin it to their Pinterest. So you see like a lot of good stuff out here. A good way to find out if a shirt is popular or not is just to see how many pins the shirt has, like how many people liked the pin or repinned it. And what that means is just you look at the bottom left of the post, and the more hearts and the more of these little pins it has, that means that the more people liked it, which is a good thing. Another way to find some designs on Pinterest is just to switch out the word shirt for art. And right away you see some cool stuff. Like this one is a cool little quote, but I'm not too sure if this would work good on a shirt or not. So I'm gonna keep looking. This one is cool as well. It's a unique way to draw a bulldog, so that might work. A bunch of these paintings here are cool, but they won't work on Teespring because they have way too many colors. So let's keep looking. Here's a good quote right here with a cool picture of a bulldog. You could definitely put that on a shirt. Then just keep on looking. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you could also look for stickers on here as well. So that's how you find stuff on Pinterest. I'm gonna show you a couple more places where you could find some inspiration for your designs. The first one is called Etsy. Etsy is a place where independent designers and artists could create their own products and have their own store online. So you'll find a lot of cool stuff here that you probably won't find anywhere else. So I'm gonna search for English Bulldog again. Then I'm gonna click on clothing and I'm gonna start to browse around. This first shirt right here is pretty cool. Here's another one, the bulldog with some wings. And keep browsing around, you'll come across another one like this. A lot of the shirts on here are very artsy, so if you find one that you like, I suggest you give it to one of your designers and tell them to make a variation of it. The next site is called Spreadshirt. And just like on Etsy, this is a site where people could upload their own designs and have their own store and all that. So I'm gonna search for Bulldog again, and I'm gonna see all the stuff that I can find. The problem with sites like this, it's hard to tell what designs are selling because they don't tell you. So you just have to go by your instinct about what kind of design would sell well on Teespring. But as long as you have a fairly decent design, you could pretty much sell anything on Teespring as long as you find the right audience and put it in front of their eyes. So that's pretty much it. You can browse Spreadshirt a bit until you find a design that you want to make a variation of. Now, if you want to save yourself a lot of time, you could buy pre-made shirt templates. There's a couple of sites that I think offer some great templates for very cheap. The first one is called graphicriver.net. If you go on this website, you'll find a lot of graphic design stuff for sale, such as templates for flyers, for websites, for business cards, and for a lot of things. But they also have a section for t-shirt templates. So let's take a look at that. You just hover over more and click on t-shirts. And right away you see a bunch of cool designs. All you have to do is just start to browse and you'll see a bunch of different kinds of designs. It's kind of random, the stuff that people put up here, so you might have to browse around a bit until you find something that you like. For example, take this design of a lion with a crown. I'm not sure what niche you could use this for, but it's a very cool design. So if you find somebody to market this to, I'm sure you could sell this on Teespring easily. There's stuff for cars, for sports, and all that. And the best thing is you can sort by rating on the top. So every time that somebody uploads a new design, the community rates it on how good it is. Here's a cool one if you're in the fitness niche. It has a vector of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Then there's other ones that just have cool text. You could also sort by sales, which means how many times that design has been sold. So the more times the design has been sold, then that means the more likely it's gonna sell because a lot of people like it. But of course, you could also search by your niche. So I'm gonna search for football and see what comes up. And of course, you also see a lot of soccer stuff, as it's called football outside of the States. But if you just start to browse around, you'll see a lot of cool templates that'll sell well if you're in the football niche. And what's awesome about the site is that most of the designs are only $8 or $10. Another site you could go to is called rivalart.com. On this website, they also sell templates of designs, but they also sell just character designs if you're looking to make a replica of a logo. So I'm gonna go here and click on football and then click on clip art and start to browse around, and you'll see a lot of stuff here. The designs on this site tend to be more cartoony and they have more of that illustration effect, which is a good thing if that's what you're trying to go after. But let's say you want to make a shirt for the Denver Broncos, but you know you can't use their logo. So I'm gonna just go up here and see what kind of Broncos or horse characters they have. If you start to browse around, you'll probably notice a few of these because some people have already used these on Teespring and they sold over 1,000 units. But as you can see, there's a lot of different kinds of horses on here, so you could pick one out and make one for the Denver Broncos easily. And they also have other kinds of characters, such as the Eagles, if you're trying to make a shirt for the Philadelphia Eagles. Or maybe there's a basketball team that has a Eagles name in college. Or whatever. I mean, you could go after any college or professional mascot with the characters they have on this site. And they also have just a bunch of random stuff if you target a different kind of niche. For example, if you have a big Facebook page on fishing, you could get a lot of designs based around some fish or some boats or whatever. So now, if you go to a design, you'll see that most of the designs on this website cost from $12 to $18, and they let you license it up to 500 sales. You could buy an extended license for $25 to sell more. But from the experience I've seen from other people, people just buy the regular license because they're not too sure how much they are going to sell. And I'm not even sure how this site could keep track of your design or how many you sell. So these two sites are definitely some good sites to check out if you want to save yourself some time and just buy a design that is already made and it looks good. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to find out what font a specific design is using. So if you find a design that is selling well and you think it's selling well because the font is cool or whatever, I'm going to show you a way how you could figure out what the font is, and then I'll show you how you could try to find the font for free or find an alternate font that looks the same. So let's get started. So here's a shirt that I'm sure you probably have seen. It's just a basic text shirt that says God first, family, then team name. For this one, they use the Sooners, which is a college team out of Oklahoma. But a lot of people have been using it for other teams in the NFL, NBA, and even for other non-sport stuff. So if you saw this design and you wanted to copy the font because you know the font is selling and people like the way it looks and the layout and all that, then the first thing you have to do is take a screenshot of the font. If you're on a Mac like me, you just hit Command Shift and the number 4. I'm just going to take a screenshot of the top line only. After I have the screenshot, I'm going to go to Google and search for what the font. It'll be the first result that you get. You could bookmark the page if you want. So now you just click here and you upload the screenshot that you just took of the font and click continue. What this site is going to do is it's going to try to break down all the letters it could find in the image. So what you have to do is just you go through it and make sure that the letters it found are the right letters. So I'm going to change the lowercase I to a capital I, and everything else is fine. So I'm going to click continue. On this page, it shows you all the fonts that come close to it. But this site sells fonts. So most of the results that they give you are going to be fonts that are for sale. So if you click on the link to each font, you see that this one costs $29 and the second one costs $19.95. So you could buy these if you want, but if you're on a budget, then you could just go up on Google and just try to find these on your own. So I'm going to try to find the first font. And to search for it, I just put the name of the font and then I put font after it. The first font is going to be hard to find because of the name of it. It's just going to give you a bunch of fonts that people use for flyers, either for clubs or parties or whatever. So it's not really a specific name. So I'm going to go back and try to search for the other font, which is the Futura. So a Futura font. And see, it gives me a few results. So I'm going to click here and see if I could download the font from here. So yeah, so it looks to be this one right here. Just click on the download. I put that little code, and I could download the font. So on sites like these, you have to be careful to not click like all the ads and all that, because you might get into like a weird loop and have like all these pop-ups come up. But I mean, it's a good way to get some free fonts instead of having to pay for them. After you install the font, just open up a document in Photoshop or any other program that you use and just start to create your design. So now I'm going to just change the font to Futura. And you can see it looks pretty much the same And the same thing as on the shirt. Let's take a look. Well, the font in the middle is smaller, so we got to fix that so it's all the same size. So I'm gonna just highlight it. I can lower the font size, then move up the heading on top and change the bottom one as well. And there you go. The same exact design. So now you could take this design and change it to anything that you want. So I'll take out the Sooners and put the Cowboys if I want to make a shirt for the Dallas Cowboys. I'll just make it smaller, change the font a bit. Or I could just put the Dolphins for people who live in Miami. I could target people who are like into yoga, target people who are into Brazil or whatever, you know. I mean, it could be anything that you want it to be. The important thing to know is that when you copy a design or try to mimic a design, you shouldn't do the same exact thing as the other person, because not only are they already doing it and they have the ads that are working for it, if you try to compete with the same person in the same niche, it's going to cost you a lot of money just to catch up, because they already have an ad that is working and that is selling a lot. So I mean, if you're going to mimic a design, find a totally different niche and then do your thing. So that's it for this one. This is going to be a special kind of video. I'm going to pretty much give you an over-the-shoulder access to see how I designed this shirt after FSU won the national championship game. It's a pretty basic design, which I just made a variation of out of other things I saw online. And without using any ads, I was able to sell over 50 of these by using the techniques in this course. Now, the purpose of this video is to show you that you don't have to be a super talented designer to come up with a cool design. You just have to know how to research online and be able to find other designs that you could take inspiration from and make variations of. To do stuff like this, you will have to be a little bit familiar with programs like Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop, which might be a little bit too much for some people, but if you really want to have some success on Teespring, you should invest some time and learn the basics of these programs. In the long run, it's going to save you a whole bunch of time because you won't have to be waiting on a designer on Odesk or Fiverr or whatever. And you'll be able to capitalize off trends by being able to quickly design a shirt. Like I said, I designed this shirt in about 20 minutes or so. So the first thing I did was I went to Google and I searched for banner vector. I knew that I wanted to make something with the banner since this shirt is supposed to make a statement about being the national champions. So as I started to browse around, I tried to look for something cool that I could copy and write national champions on. These look cool, but it's not exactly what I wanted. So then I remembered that the logo for the BCS championship game kind of looks like a banner, so I'm gonna go look for it. And as you can see it right here, it's kind of a banner on its own. So I'm going to use that as a base for my design. I'm going to copy it and then open up Adobe Illustrator and paste it into a new document. Now, Illustrator has a feature where you could trace an image and turn it into a vector. It kind of takes some getting used to mess around with the settings, but this is a super easy way to copy a designs that you see online without too much effort. After I get the settings right and the banner portion of the logo looks good, I'm going to just click on expand on the top and it's going to turn it into a vector. Now, all I have to do is just start to delete everything that I don't need. I'm going to fast forward this part, but basically I'm just deleting everything that I don't need, such as the border and the letters inside of the banner. Once I'm left with only the banner, I'm going to copy that Open up a new document in Adobe Photoshop and paste it in there. Before I do that, I'm actually going to change the color of the background to the color of the shirt that I want, which is going to be a maroon shirt for FSU. So after I paste the banner, I just expand the size. And now I have my base for the design. So now I'm going to go back to Google to make sure that I'm using the correct colors for FSU. So I'm going to look for any official logo from FSU. Then I'm going to change the color of the banner to match the colors of the school. As you can see, I selected the gold color, and now I'm going to fill the banner with that color. The next step is to write national champions on the banner. I'm going to make sure it's in the center, and there you go. I'm going to change the font to a cool block letter font. But as you can see, since the banner curves, I also have to make the text curve. So what you have to do is click on this button up here to warp the text. You give it an arc and adjust the settings accordingly. That looks right. So I'm going to put it in the middle again. It still looks a little weird, so I'm going to add a stroke to the text to give it some more character. I don't like the way it looks with black, so I'm going to change it to the color of the shirt. The way it is right now, I'm using 4 colors for this design. I'm using black, gold, white, and maroon. As with any design, you want to use the least amount of colors as you can, because the more colors that you use, the more expensive it's going to be, especially on Teespring. So since the border of the text is the same color as the color of the shirt, I'm just going to do a little trick to make that part of the design see-through, so all you see is the color of the shirt and not the actual color of the font. Instead of using a stroke, I simply duplicate the text layer. I go up to filter, click on other, and then on minimum. This effect is going to expand the layer, so it's going to give the same appearance as the stroke under the real title. Then I'm going to just select that layer and delete that shape from all the other layers underneath, including the banner. What this does is it leaves what looks like a stroke around the original text, but it's not actually a stroke. It's just an empty part of the design, which lets the shirt material peek through. So now, as you can see, I'm only using 3 colors for the design instead of 4, but the design still has the same effect as before with the stroke around the national champions text. So now I'm just going to continue adding stuff to the design. I'm going to add the year. I'm going to change up the font. Make sure it looks good. Add an arc. And so far I think it's looking pretty good, but it's still missing something to make it pop. So since I'm out of ideas, I'm gonna hop back onto Google and see if I can find some more inspiration. I'm gonna look for FSU championship shirts and see if I can find some cool designs. I couldn't find anything cool in the images, so I'm gonna just go back to the web results and click on the shopping. I see a few cool designs, but right off the bat, this design caught my eye. I really like the shape of the football over the text. So what I did is I just took a screenshot of that shape. I went back into Illustrator and I used the same image trace function as before. I didn't even have to mess around with the settings this time. It traced it perfectly. I just delete everything I don't need, copy the football, and add it onto my design. I change up the size to make it fit, and there you go. I just added another cool element onto my design. Now I'm gonna add the team name under the football and see how that looks. Now so far I think I'm getting pretty close to what I want, but I could probably still add something else to this to make it pop. So I'm thinking I could probably add a FSU tomahawk. So I'm gonna go back to Google and search for FSU tomahawk vector. Then I'm gonna click on images and see what kind of results I get. And browsing around, you can see some cool illustrations, but it's not exactly the kind of things I want. So instead of searching for FSU, I'm gonna just search for tomahawk alone. And then here I find one that I like. I'm gonna throw that into Illustrator and use the same image trace technique. I mess around with the settings, and there you go. Just copy that over into Photoshop. Now I'm going to place this tomahawk next to the year. Instead of being black and white, I'm going to just change it so it's the color of the banner. Then I'm going to duplicate it and put it on the other side as well. This looks pretty cool, but I think the tomahawks would look even better if they had that same border that the national champions text has. So I'm going to use that same technique I used on the text to make the see-through border around it and apply it to the two tomahawks. So here's the final product. As you can see, when I take out the background, I'm only using 3 colors, and the background acts as the 4th color. So now all I have to do is just crop the image, then I just take out the background and export it for Teespring. I go to launch a new campaign, upload the image, and there you go. Here's a simple design I made by using elements from other designs and logos I found online. As simple as that. If we go back to the real campaign, you'll see that I've sold 53 of these so far. So if I put that into here and set the price, you can see that I've made over $500 already. Pretty cool, right? Well, let me know if you guys have any questions about this. I'm sure you've heard all the drama surrounding Teespring and custom audiences and the sky is falling and all of that. But I'm just here to let you know that you don't even have to use custom audiences to get really targeted interest on Facebook. All you need to do is learn how to use the ads manager properly by using the interest that they already have in a creative way and the new system that they're about to roll out. So I'm going to create an ad for you and show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just going to make a general ad to google.com. Scroll down and go to the interest section. So let's say I wanted to target people who liked the Miami Heat, but I also wanted to target people who like the Miami Dolphins as well as the Miami Heat. The way that the interests work now is that this is a or statement. So it's going to give me people who like the Heat or the people who like the Dolphins. As you can see, if I take out the Miami Heat, it's going to give me a much smaller audience for the people who like the Dolphins. Now, the interests are not an and statement yet, but it seems that's the way they're going to be doing it in the future, but it's just not rolled out yet. What they have rolled out is that the behaviors and the more demographics here on the top, if you add any of those, it becomes an and statement, not an or statement. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to add a behavior to narrow down the interests from 13 million people to much lower. So I'm going to go to purchase behavior, then click on buyer profiles, and you can see there's a lot of options here. But since I'm trying to target people who are into the sports teams, I'm going to click on sportsmen because this is a category that Facebook defined as people who are strongly into sports. So as you can see, it knocked down the people from 13.2 million to about around a million and a half. Now, these are people that Facebook has determined as being heavily into sports. So they don't just like the Heat or the Dolphins because they live in Miami. They like the Heat and the Dolphins because they really follow the team and all that. So that's one way to break it down. Another way, if I take that out, I could just go and add people who have a profile of being shoppers. These are people that Facebook has defined as spending a lot of money online buying stuff. So that's definitely a good target that you would want to reach if you're trying to sell them some shirts. And as you can see, it knocked it down to only 800,000 people. So it's definitely getting more direct. Now, if you go up here to the more demographics, you could add even more stuff to make the targeting more precise. There's a bunch of different options you could select, but let's say I wanted to target moms because I have a Miami Heat shirt dedicated to women. After you click on moms, it opens up a separate menu where you could get more specific. So for example, I'm going to select fit moms. As you can see, it dropped down the interest from 800,000 people to 56,000 people. This is really precise targeting, and I didn't even have to use any graph scrapers or custom audiences or whatever. I now have a target audience of 56,000 moms who love the Miami Heat or the Dolphins, and it's been shown that they love to shop a lot. This will be a perfect audience for me to target with the Miami Heat or Miami Dolphins t-shirt aimed at women or moms. Another way to be even more specific with your audience without using a graph scraper is by using the life events option. It lets you target people who are having a birthday this week. So if I select that, you can see that it drops my audience way down to only 3,000 people. So imagine having an ad that targets moms who love the Miami Heat and they have a birthday this week. You can make a separate ad specifically for these 3,000 people and mention in the ad, hey, it's your special week. Why not treat yourself to this awesome shirt? Another cool way to use this is by targeting people through their job title. For example, let's say I had a shirt for elementary school teachers. The reach is real small because I still have the Miami Heat in there. So if I take that out, see, I could reach about 10,000 elementary school teachers, which is not a whole lot, but it's a really targeted audience because that's what they say the job is on Facebook. I could also target people who teach in the first or the second grade. Or let's say I wanted to target some firefighters and some fire chiefs. I could target up to 66,000 firefighters specifically. But I could also break that down even more because if I add an interest, let's say I put dogs, you see how the number it goes down because Facebook is combining the interest and the job title with an and statement. So it's going to bring down from 66,000 to almost 20,000, which is firefighters who have or love dogs. You don't have to use this only to sell shirts. For example, the demographics area, it lets you target people who are engaged. So right now there are almost 5 million people who are engaged. Let's say I'm promoting ads for a local gym or I have a health product that I want to promote. I could target people who are engaged and are also into gyms or like to work out. I can make an ad saying, hey, your big day is coming up soon. Here's a discount code for your local gym or for this health product that could help you to lose some weight. For the last example, I'm going to show you how to target passionate gun owners in America. The demographics lets you target people by their political affiliation. So if I want to target the really passionate gun owners, I'm going to select people who are conservative. You see, it gives me 34 million people, which is way too many people to effectively target. So I'm going to cut down this number by also adding a behavior. I'm going to select people who donate money to political causes. These are people who feel strongly enough about their beliefs to donate some money. And because I selected conservative people, I know that they donated money to conservative causes, which usually is around stuff like gun rights. So these two interests together brought down the demographic to around 8 million people, which is great, but I still want to go a little bit deeper. So I'm going to add the general interest of AR-15. And you can see that it brings the audience down even more to only 120,000 people. If I make an ad to these 120,000 people, I know that they are very conservative because they donate money to their causes and they love AR-15s. So if I have a shirt or if I have a gun club or a knife offer or any kind of product that appeals to this audience, this will be the perfect kind of targeting to make those sales or build that email list or make those contacts or whatever. So hopefully you got some good information out of this tutorial and you stop relying on the graph search so much and start playing by Facebook's terms of service and follow the rules to get some good results. Let me know if you have any questions. Peace.